gotten the book yet, let them know who Dr. Ashley Dash is. Tell us about your chapter and why you were part of this book.
Definitely. So, hello everyone. My name is Dr. Ashley Dash. I am your favorite career branding expert. My claim to fame is helping Black business professionals make six figures so they can increase their confidence, make boss money, and get unstuck at work. In terms of the Make It Matter project, I'm just beyond thrilled, elated, excited, all of the adjectives, all of the words to be a part of such an amazing project. Like it's just great. And one of the reasons I was so excited about it is because I get to share, right? And I get to share about making your legacy matter. And one of the reasons I kind of wanted to focus on this is because I always felt like legacy, whenever I heard the word, it was only applied in two cases. It was applied to those who are super wealthy, right? They've already like arrived. And I'm talking about their legacy and what they've done, and that's great. Or I've heard about legacy talking about those who have like gone before us, like Dr. Martin Luther King, right? And his legacy, right? And that's wonderful. But what about us, the people in the middle, the people that are right here, still living, still working, still doing purpose, still doing things that matter? And that's what I got to write about and I got to share about in terms of the Make It Matter project, make your legacy matter. And how do you do that, particularly in your career? So I am just excited to be here and thrilled to just be a part of it.
Awesome. And I'm not gonna let you go yet because your story is one that I think it was so important. When I read your story, it was so empowering because you talk about the six-figure income. I know when I was, and I'm a little bit older than you, so I know when I was coming out of high school, going into college, like 50,000 was the barometer. Like I can always remember my father. He would always like, that was the number, 50,000. Find a $50,000 job, $50,000 job. That's when you knew you made it. That was 25 something years ago.
Right.
Now it's like six figures is the, once you make six figures, you made it, you made it. But your story is that you made it, you had the six figures, and then lost the six-figure job, and then
Yes.
rebounded back. That's what I
Yeah.
love about that. So share with us a little bit about that journey, so that people who are listening, because people might be watching right now and say, I made it, I got it. I don't need this project. I already matter. And then next month they're out of a job. I know
Right.
friends who are making high six figures who are out of work for over a year. So,
Right.
and were able to bounce back. So talk to us about that journey and how that impacted you.
Definitely. So when I talk about six figures, I talk about in the context of freedom, right? So I'm a money girl. So I think money is important. It makes the world go round. It's the currency of the day. So that's how I operate. And I also know that $105,000 is a safety point, right? There's been research that's done that psychologically for people in the United States, once you hit $105,000, you don't feel much better about your life, right? Like once you hit that like you'll make more money, you can do more things, right? But studies have shown that beyond that point, it's cool, but it's really not a lot. So for me, the goal of talking about six figures and me personally making six figures is making it the way that I wanted it because I made six figures. I was working for Mercedes Benz, Silicon Valley. I moved to LA. I was doing what I thought I wanted. Like all the prayers to God that I had prayed in college finally paid off, right? Like this is the life that I'm supposed to live. And then I remember in my office, I had my corner office, like with the view, looking out into California. I remember being in the office and bursting into tears,
Wow.
right? Because this isn't what I wanted. I had the money, but I didn't have the fulfillment. I didn't have the purpose. I didn't have everything else, right? And shortly thereafter, I lost that job. Um, and then I was unemployed and kind of had to go through some issues and things like that. So when I'm talking about rebounding, right, when I'm here now in Japan making six figures again, I'm making it on my terms, right? I'm making it in a place where I'm excited about, right? I am excited to go into the office, right? There's struggles because I don't speak Japanese, but I love what I do. My boss is amazing. I don't have to pay rent. Like there's a lot of things that I get to experience here in Japan in terms of having my six-figure salary on my own terms in terms of what I define as career freedom. So I think it's really important for people to know that you can make six figures and not be happy, right? Um, and that's what I really wanted people to know. And that for those who haven't arrived yet, right? Because you're there, right? We've all made six figures. If you look at your salary, most of us have already made six figures in our life. Um, I want them to know that it's possible. You can have and do whatever you want, but all of that, the everyday living, those choices, that's all part of your legacy. Not making six figures part of my legacy. Making six figures part of my legacy. It all works together for your good.
You know, you said you kind of said the thesis for this book is that doing it on your terms, and that's the thing. That's why the subtitle for this book is all about creating unforgettable impact and abundant fulfillment. Because you can go out there, like you said, and make all that money, but if you're not fulfilled, what is the purpose for it? So doing it on your terms is so great. Thank you for that. Let's go to my man, Reverend Red, Reverend Roger
Yes,
Dixon. Man, you have been a blessing in my life, a pleasure. I'm so glad we met a little over a year ago,
absolutely.
probably close to this now. So I was excited when you joined this project. You're talking about make your success matter. So introduce yourself to our audience. Tell them about what you're talking about in the book, and just take it from there.
Okay, great. Thank you for having me. And I thank you just for allowing me to be part of this project. My name is Reverend Roger Dixon Sr. from the great city of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And make your success matter. What does that mean? It's come from me being a school teacher. The first chapter, success is yours. Do you want it? You, and even you. And that even you student is that student think they would never be successful. That even you student think they can't make it in life. Maybe they might not even graduate or even go to college. But my job as a teacher to inspire them that they can. Their success matters. And I'm there to help you along the way, especially with my freshmen in ninth grade. And I see them travel up the journey, as I said, from being a sophomore to a junior, and then become a senior. Then they say, Mr. Dixon, I made it. I'm here. I said, absolutely. And so that's what I get my joy to see that student, who think they're at the borderline, think they're just average. You're above average. You're awesome. You're champions. And I try to inspire that in them that they can be whatever they want to be. But that's why success matters in their lives. And we, as an adults, we have to instill that in them.
I also have experience in teaching and through long-term substituting and coaching. I'm gonna come back to you about that because I used to do football and baseball coaching. We'll talk to you in a second about that relationship, those relationships as well. But as you can see, we have someone else with us, so we were able to finally get her on. Jacqueline Showless, you may know her as J.K. Showless. Listen, this is live, folks, so we are excited to have her on here as well. The young lady from, I won't say from, but she's currently in New York, right? You're in New York City?
Yeah.
Well, not New York
Yeah.
City, you're in the state of New York. All right, great. Jacqueline Showless, the awesome introvert. So we want to, no, I'm sorry, the excitable introvert. She talks
There you
about
go.
making your awesome matter.
Yeah.
Let me get it right. Let me get it right. So
I knew you were going to get it together.
yes. So I'm excited. I'm excited about hearing about you because everyone, in this space, people don't believe when I tell them as a public speaker, as a media personality, I'm an introvert. Like I really would prefer being in a room by myself and
Yeah.
chilling in my thoughts as opposed to, trying to mingle and schmooze with people and just be out there. People don't believe me when they say that, but I force myself to come out my shell. So when you talk about being an introvert, I know a lot of people can relate to that. So I want to introduce you. Talk to us about who Jacqueline Showless is, your chapter about making your awesome matter,
Well,
and just
I know
what makes
that's
you
so
so
great,
great.
but definitely I am an excitable introvert. And because of the experience that you talk about, anyone who knows me, I'm kind of like a golden retriever. Like I get really excited about lots of things, but I am, in fact, an introvert. And my work revolves around guiding introverted women of color to embrace their awesome so that they get seen, heard, and respected. And what I find time and time again is that a lot of people have a number of misconceptions about what an introvert is, who they are. Like if you're not sitting in the corner, like quiet and crying and brooding, then somehow you're not an introvert. Like, we're in lots of places. We are
Right.
all sorts of places. And so in my chapter when I talk about making your awesome matter, it's truly about you as an introvert embracing those characteristics of being an introvert and using those so that you can serve in a higher way. I love bringing up Beyonce as an example. She's an introvert. People see her on stage as like, how could she possibly? And I use her for that very reason. And what she does in order to bring her awesome to the forefront is she gives an what I call an empowered alter ego, her Sasha Fierce. So
Right,
when
right.
she needs to show up in those places with big personality and charisma, she delegates that to this alter ego. So Sasha is able to take on those characteristics when she needs to be out there performing and speaking. But then once that's done, the baton is handed back to her and she can go back to being in solitude and reflecting and being left alone. And so embracing your awesome is about finding those ways so that you are taking your introversion and you're using it in a way in your world to bring your skills and quirks and abilities to be in service to others.
Awesome. Literally awesome. So let me ask you this. So what was it? Was there a moment in your life, something that happened that kind of steered you in this direction when it was like, this is my aha moment that I was like, this is how I can be empowered through, my intro. Because people look at being an introvert, it's kind of like the same way, they look at that the same way as people look at being a beta male, the alpha male, beta male.
Mm-hmm.
People act like a beta personality is a negative when you compare it to alpha, but it's not a negative. It's just a different kind of person. So the same thing with being an
Exactly.
introvert, it kind of gets people look at it kind of negatively sometimes
Often.
compared to an extrovert. But it's like it's not negative. It's just a different thing. It's a different personality. So was there
Right.
something that clicked, a moment that made it click for you to say, hey, here's how I'm going to use this, and
Was a pivotal moment actually in high school. That's where I had my epiphany. I'm always the person who's shy and in the corner reading a book. Leave me alone. I love you. Goodbye. Um, I've always been that person, and I had a moment where I knew that there were these bigger things I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be a writer and a speaker, but I also knew I was terrified of those things. And I decided, you know what? If I were just to be this version of myself that I see in my head, what would that look like? Let me try it out and see like what that would be. And that single decision changed absolutely everything in my life. Because from that decision, I knew I wanted to be a speaker. So that meant I needed to go into spaces where I was speaking. Well, that evolved into me being on international stages and being able to pay for college through speaking competitions. Like, I'm still the person who sits in the corner, but because I decided I wanted to live into this version of myself, it's not that I put aside being an introvert. Introvert is just how you process information.
right.
It's that I saw what that vision of me and what I wanted to do in the world as being more important than me staying quiet and in the corner. So every good thing, and I share this in the chapter, every good thing in my life came from that decision. My husband, my child, my career, the people that I serve, my child, every good thing in my life came from that decision to say, you know what? I am an introvert, but I have a vision of myself that is completely different. Let me just try it out. Let me just see what it's like if I was to actually be this person I know myself to be.
Wow. I love that. And, for those who are watching, for those extroverts out there, introverts aren't the little gumps sitting in the corner, sad that we don't know how to talk to people. We
Yes.
just know when it's time to shut up and chill and relax for a second while y'all out there running your mouths trying to go and start the party nobody want to come to. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Am I am I projecting? I'm sorry. Let me bring it back.
I'm personally offended. I'm
Love
personally
it.
offended.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm bringing it back. I got a little. I think I might have got a little triggered there. I'm sorry. Let me go back to Reverend Rev. Rev, pray for me, okay? So I
Well,
want to go.
I always say that people, it's especially in Western society, it's so prized to be the outgoing, outspoken personality. But there's so much value for the people who are watching what's going on, who are seeing how people are actually doing, who bring self-awareness to the party. So it's like extroverts, when you meet introverts that are like engaging, don't do this thing where it's, really? You're an introvert? I never would have knew. How is it? Don't do that.
Right, right. I get
Just
it
don't do
all
that.
the time.
And
All the time.
extroverts take a moment to pause. So we introverts have a moment to breathe. Like,
Right,
please
right.
let us live.
Yeah. We'll tune you out in a second. Tune you out in a second. So, Rev, I want to come back to you, Reverend Dixon, because I said I was going to come back about the sports. And like I know your passion is for the high school kids, and that's kind of your space and where you're helping them. And it's important because I know I was going to say when I was coaching football, I coached football and baseball at a high school level back in like 2006 to 2008. Okay, every year it's like further and further away, but the relationships that I built with those 9th through 12th graders as a coach, and now I'm watching them now, 30, 32, 33 years old, getting married, starting their careers, out there doing great things. And what I love, they still call me Coach Greene. I'm still coach, you know. So those relationships that impact, you watch them, it's like, wow, you know, I played a role in just a small role, but just some role in being able to help these young people. And what I want to bring up, because while all of the guys I've coached, 95% of them turned out really great. 95% of them also were little knuckleheads in school, right? They were the ones that was like, yo, can you just stop? They probably were those extroverts, right? Can you just chill and focus? So I want to talk about that because I know as adults, we are so quick to, lose our patience with young people and forget that we once were young as well. We want to write off kids who are just being kids, who are just expressing themselves. So what advice maybe could you give our readers who are going to go and get the book and look at your chapter because you're really dealing with how to help young people become successful. Talk to the older folk on how we can really, what we can do to, appreciate the young kids for who they are and understand that, where they are right now is not necessarily where they're always going to be.
The main thing, what I would say is meet them where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
As my mother always said, be patient, don't judge, don't assume anything. And so as a teacher, I'll be patient. I talk to John, how are you doing today? Well, I'm not doing so well. What's wrong? He explains to me about his situation, his problem. I said, well, I'll come back to you. Just relax a little bit and just make sure everything's okay in here. If you need me, you know where I'm at in the classroom. I don't say, well, try to get on them. And then I'll come back with maybe 5 or 10 minutes and see what the situation is. And sometimes it's minute in things at home. Maybe didn't go this way last night or either this morning. But my thing is to have that relationship that will last, as you mentioned, forever. I started in 2005 up until present. And the 29-year-olds and the 30-year-olds, yeah, absolutely. And I see them at the mall or at shopping, and they explain to me what I meant to them. But before, they say I was kind of hard.
Right.
But I think that we can and will make a difference. That's why I say success matters. And I think that what we as an adult have to do, we have to pause. And so just like Jacqueline, I was and probably still an introvert as well. Just let me have my space. I give them their space.
Right.
I give them their space because I know how I was. I was kind of quiet. And then I give them, and I come back later after maybe cool down or thought about some things. And I think that as we as adults can give our young people their space and be there for them, meet them where they're at. Because sometime in life, we think they might know this, or might know that, and they probably don't know what is going on. And a lot of my students, come from single parents. So therefore, I have to take an extra time to share them about life, what life is all about. Why are you taking English? Why are you taking Spanish? Why are you doing this? I don't need this in life. Why should I have English? Why should I have this? And I explain to them, I said, down the road, if you go in the military, whatever case would be, or get a job, you will take a test. You will take a test. And you got to know what your basic math or English, or you might have to write a sentence or something like that. It will come. Right. I said, it will come. I said, but later on, you would thank Mr. Dixon. Like my mom always said, you would thank your mama down the road. So I would say that we have patience with our young people and meet them where they are and form a relationship with them that exceed high school, even college, or even adults. Even right now, students call me up or might see me someplace and might my advice on certain things. They call me coach as well. I was coaching basketball and football, and so they still call me coach as well. So I'm just excited about that. But the main thing is about relationship, form relationship, and know how to deal with people.
Awesome. And don't forget, those who are watching live, remember our contest that's going on. But if you make a comment, you get one entry. Your name gets entered one time in our drawings, as we have some giveaways at the end. If you share this link out, if you share it out, you're going to get 2 entries for that. So you have a chance to be entered up to 3 times in our giveaways at the end of tonight. So make sure you go ahead and do that. Leave your comments. All right, so we're going to wrap this segment up. I want to go and let's start back up with Dr. Ashley. Dr. Ashley, I know you do something phenomenal. I'm not just saying that because I was one of them, but you do something when you have a Black Man Day. So talk to us about the Black Man Day, what that is, and then also just give us some information on how people can contact you, work with you if they want to.
Definitely. So first of all, I'm an extrovert. I just want to put that out there. I don't want to beat up where you got.
You gonna take this beat?
I need to represent for the wonderful, amazing extroverts. I just got to put that out there. Let's just start there. However,
Awesome.
I do have to say this. I do feel that in my HR background, introverts do answer the interview questions the best. That's been my experience. They interview beautifully. Now, on to National Black Man Day. So I actually created a holiday called National Black Man Day. It's August 8th. I call it, it's a holiday specifically to celebrate, appreciate, and support Black men. And I always say it's from August 8th until eternity. Like it's here. Like it's not going anywhere. It's here. And part of the reason is because Black men, you guys have it rough. It's hard out here in these streets, right? Like it's just crazy. And I just have a special place in my heart for Black men, right? And as part of me just celebrating you guys is every Monday I have what I call Black Man Monday, right? Where I get to celebrate a Black king, a melanin king, and then celebrate just the amazing things that he's doing in any area of his life. It could be him being an amazing father, him being a boss business person, entrepreneur, a civic person in his community. I just want to just really elevate Black men in the space of positivity and excitement and appreciation. Let them know that there's a community of people wanting you to win, right? Including myself. There's a community of people excited for you. And sometimes you just need to be reminded. And on Black Man Monday, I get to remind the world that there's amazing Black men. I feature them on our Facebook page, our National Black Men Day's Facebook page, and they kind of get kudos, for the whole week. They can share, if their business stuff is happening, if they have books, if they have podcasts, if they're fundraising, if they're, inviting people to church, like whatever it is, whatever their thing is, I empower that. So that's what National Black Men Day is. And that's what we do every Monday at National Black Men Day. We actually support Black men and let the world know that y'all are dope and this is great. And there's a space for you and we love you and we appreciate you and that y'all are doing well and y'all have a community here, because sometimes I know the world doesn't make you guys feel like that. So that's what National Black Men Day is.
Appreciate that.
And
tell people how they can get in touch with you.
Oh, yes. So for more information for National Black Men Day, of course, you can go to blackmanday.com directly. You can, get our email list, learn about our speakers. We have some dope speakers coming. Just, really get excited about this year's celebration. And if you want to work with me and talk to me or connect with me directly, you can feel free to connect with me. I am on Facebook at Dr. Ashley Dash, or you can go to workwithdr.com. You can schedule some time to jump on my calendar and we can have a conversation and we can chat it up about career freedom, about making 6 figures, about Black Men Day. However it is, I can help and support you create your legacy. That's what I'm here for. So if you can go to www.workwithdr.com, that link is there for you.
Awesome. Dr. Dixon, Reverend Dixon.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead and give out your contact information, how people can get in touch with you.
Okay. Absolutely. Through my email is rdixon53200@yahoo.com. I do a podcast every Thursday from 4:15 to 4:45. It's called The Prison Family Ministry, 17104.com here in the city of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And that's my contact information, how they can get in contact with me.
Awesome. Thank you. And Jacqueline Shawless, take us out.
Yes, you can always find me anywhere on the internet at JK Shawless. But you can visit my website at IEmbraceAwesome.com. There you'll find information about not only who I am and what I do, but ways that we can play together and ways that I can support you and making your awesome a reality. So IEmbraceAwesome.com is the place to go.
Thank you so much, all three of you. It's been a pleasure working with all of you and learning about what you all do in this project. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you are watching, make sure you go ahead, get your copy of the book, help support the project, what's going on. Again, we look forward to talking to you, meeting you along the way. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with some more authors right after this. All right. Was that first segment awesome or what? Listen, I have, this man holds a distinct honor. I'm going to add to the list of many things that makes this man special, but he is the first person to be inside the Greenhouse Media Studios. He's one of the most popular authors in the book. This young man, I have been working with him since he was a freshman, since he was like 18.
Yeah, man.
Golly, man, since he was 18. So welcome, Mike Powell, to the Make It Matter release. Welcome you here live. Mike, man, I'm excited because we worked a lot together.
Yep.
I push you, but you do your thing, man. So you are always rocking and rolling. So I'm excited to have you part of this book, excited to have you here. So I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience. Tell them who Mike Powell is, what your chapter was about in the book, and really what they can look to gain from it.
Yeah, so thank you, Ryan, for having me. The Greenhouse is a really dope spot. I like the vibe in here, so I'm glad to be the first official visitor here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Mike Powell, I'm an author now. I'm a dad,
Right.
Entrepreneur, consultant, facilitator, trainer. Got a whole list of titles depending on who you're talking to, but really I think at the core of what I do is helping people to find success and achieve goals in their life. So whether we're talking about teams, whether we're talking about businesses, whether we're talking about organizations or individuals, I really believe that everybody has something inside of them that they're trying to bring out, and I try to help people to bring it out and help them achieve their visions and achieve their goals. And so part of what I've been doing for the past 5 or 6 years has been really helping people focus in on their goals. I think goal setting is something that's really important, and a lot of people, even myself, take it for granted. And so what we did in collaborating on this book was just had a conversation about why goal setting is important, about my unique process of goal setting, writing the goals down, identifying what you need to achieve your goals, thinking about what you need to sacrifice to achieve your goals, thinking about why your goals are important. I think people just kind of go through life going through the motions, but if you have a goal and it's meaningful for you and there's going to have an impact on you or your family or your community or just the people that you're around, I think that makes it more likely for you to achieve that goal. And so I want to help people to remember why their goals are important and then help them come up with a plan so they can actually reach that goal and not just continue to spin their wheels.
That's the part I love about it, Mike, because so many people hear goals, they talk about goals, they say they set goals, and then they leave it at that. It's not. They don't have an action plan. They don't know what to do to go out there and make those goals happen. And I've seen your work in progress. I've seen in action, I should say. I've seen the seminars you've done, the way people are receiving you, and the success they're having. So if you can give us, I don't want you to give us the whole thing, but I know you have like a 3-part. I don't know what you even call it, but a 3-prong approach. Rather, we'll go with that to setting no goals. Tell us just the one piece of that.
Yeah. So I think the piece that is probably most popular is the vision mapping piece of it, right? And so, a lot of people have heard of making vision boards, and I think vision boards are really cool. They're good for.
That's how we got started.
That's how we got started, right?
Right.
They're inspirational, motivational. They're fun. You can sit down with your friends and kind of just be casual. But I started noticing that people didn't have a plan to actually achieve what they were putting on their vision board. Right. And so I had a friend that taught me a vision mapping process, and that was actually taking those visions that you have on your board, translating those into written goals, and then coming up with a step-by-step plan for reaching those goals. And so, in my workshops and what we talk about in the book is how do you take those goals, translate that into something tangible, right? Not just an idea, not just a feeling, but something tangible so that a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you can go back to look at something to say, hey, this is where I said I wanted to be. These are the things that I said I wanted to do. So if you missed, you can go back and say, this is why I missed. This is where I missed. Because sometimes we miss, but we don't know what happened because we're just so busy kind of going through the motions. And so that vision mapping process is something that people really, really enjoy, that experience in that process. And it's something that's practical, and I didn't want to just be kind of like psychobabble, right? I wanted to give some people things that they can actually use and hold on to, and I just found that people really appreciated it and liked it and were achieving their goals.
And it sounds like with the vision mapping, even if at the end of the year, let's say you had your 10 steps, all right, here's my goal, here's my 10 steps to get there. Let's say you didn't reach the goal, but you accomplished 6 or 7 of those steps. When you talk about, you can look and see where you fell off, but you also can celebrate those successes along the way. I think that's a lot of people get down, and I would say that sometimes people get down, but also people overlook. I know I've been guilty of overlooking successes I've had because it wasn't the full goal. Like it wasn't, oh man, this was my goal to do this. I didn't reach that. But then, when other people look and say, well, look, you did this, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess that was pretty substantial. So that sounds like a very good way to keep people positive, keep people pushing, keep people focused on what it is they were trying to do anyway.
Yeah. Part of that process is just identifying what those milestones are to help make sure you're on the right track. And as you said, even if we don't reach the ultimate goal in the time that we originally identified, we can always go back and say, well, I'm that much further. And so, getting started is the hard part. And then having something to track your progress along the way is what helps you to continue to move forward.
Cool. Now, Mike, I've been pushing you about getting your next book book together. Now you've written your first. So talk to us, though, about now that you're Mike the author. I mean, what's that feel like to you, man?
It's weird, man. It's not anything that I expected, not anything that I had ever written on my vision map or my vision board or anything, but it has been really cool to see the response from my family and my friends who have been looking forward to hearing from me and can't really get to me. A lot of the work that I do is in corporations and organizations, and my friends and my family can't come to those workshops, and so now I have something that they can have for themselves, and it's been really cool to be able to add that to my bio now. And so like you said, you're pushing me, so now my mind is on to the next project and starting to think about what that looks like.
Cool. Well, listen, we're not going to stay here very long. One, because we got a bunch of authors to talk to, but also we don't want to take too much time here together before we both get this. Anyway. So listen, I want you to go ahead and give your any final words and contact information, how people can work with you, maybe get some help with their vision mapping, because you travel, so it doesn't matter where you are, Mike will come. For the right fee, of course. But go ahead and tell them how to contact you.
Yeah, so all my social media is MP Consults, MPCONSULTS. That's Twitter, Instagram, You can find me on Facebook. I have a blog, mpconsults.com as well. So you can find me there. I do a lot of consultations with folks, and they're free 30-minute consultations just to kind of help you decide what it is that you need to kind of get going. I don't have to charge you just to have a conversation with you. If you just want someone to kind of help you brainstorm and think through a few things to help you get started, I'm here for you to do that. I think the biggest thing that I'll leave with folks is something that I heard from one of my favorite rappers. Is the late great Nipsey Hussle, and he talked about his brand was called The Marathon Continues, and he said he called his brand The Marathon Continues because the number one thing that had made him successful was that he never stopped, right? He never stopped. So I just want to leave folks with that, to never stop. I've been doing this goal setting stuff for 7, 8, 9, 10 years now. Like you said, starting with you back in early 2000s, and I'm still going, right? I haven't reached that sort of place that I'm comfortable yet. I'm continuing to progress, and so that's what I think we all have to do, is just figure out what it is that we want to do, figure out where we want to go, and just be determined to just keep pushing, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. They said a small drop of rain can make a mighty ocean. And so, as we continue to take them small steps, one day we can be mighty. So keep pushing, you all. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for celebrating all of us authors and all hard work. And thank you, Ryan, for putting all of this together.
Thank you again, Mike. Thanks for being here, coming in and sharing this time with us. Those of you who are watching, you see the link below. You can go ahead and order your copy of the book now. We're celebrating all week long. Go ahead and get your copy of the Make It Matter Project. We're going to be right back after this quick break with some more authors. I'm Ryan C. Greene. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We are still rocking and rolling with our Make It Matter virtual release. I am excited to have our three featured authors right now. As you can see them all right there on the side. Boom, 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 boom. That night. So let's start the introductions. We've got three of our authors as we're going to keep the night rolling. Let's see who we have up top. We have Linda Buckley. They're going to all get a chance to introduce themselves in a second. But Linda Buckley, then we have Dr. Roberta Wilburn, and then we have Gregory L. Carter. So I'm excited about this next bunch of authors who are speaking to us. So let's just start from the top. Let's start from Linda Buckley. We want to give you a chance to introduce yourself, say hello, tell us what your chapter was, and what people can look to get from your chapter in the book.
Thank you, Ryan. I'm so glad you had me here today. I'm native of Chicago, right? Transplanted to Atlanta, and this project, the Make It Matter project, has been so important to me because my chapter is Make Your Words Matter. Now, I was doing some research and I realized that 95% of our words are negative towards ourselves. And when you have words that are negative towards yourself, you can impact people in a very negative manner. So I spoke about words because they are so meaningful. Now you can say something to someone and it can really hurt their feelings or strike them down. And you want to be careful about what you say and how you say it, because words have a profound effect on what we do in life. I can remember a project that we did in school about plants. And the plants, we had one plant was negative and one plant was positive words that we fed to them. And the impact of those plants We did it for 30 days. In one plant, we talked positive words. I love you. I appreciate you. And you're going to grow tall. And the second one, we talked very negative. I hate you. You never grow. You don't need to be here. And through the 30 days, I realized that one plant, the one was positive, had grown 2 inches and was green and flourishing. But the one that we spoke negative to was drooping, it did not grow, and it was yellow. And that had a very profound impact on my life. Because if you're talking to plants like that, just imagine what you say when you talk to people. And at that moment, I decided that my classmates and I would stop talking negative to each other. Even though sometimes we'd be playing around, we'd be talking, but those words really had an impact on what our behavior was and what we were doing and saying to each other. So then I decided that, hey, negative words were not going to be in my vocabulary, and that we had to get positive words in my vocabulary. So what I did is I listened to a lot of motivational tapes, read a lot of motivational books, and had a lot of motivational um, affirmations. And in those affirmations and those books, I started putting a lot of positive information in my mind and my body. And I felt good because I had something to draw from. I had things that I could really use in my life. And that really helped me to move forward, because the words that you put in your mind will transform you and the people around you. So I did not allow my classmates to continue talking negative. I even gave them books. I even gave them the CD. I even gave them affirmations to read. And through all of that, our lives did, because we had a better outlook on ourselves. We had a better outlook on the way we wanted our life to be. And you know what? We started improving. We started improving in our self-talk. We started improving our attitudes, the way we responded to our teachers. We're no longer negative, no longer acting up in class. So your words have a positive effect, the way you use your words. And I wanted to make this impact because a lot of people do not realize how important it is to use positive, uplifting words. Now, I'm not going to say all the words you use are always going to be positive. You can't get them in a different manner. You have a different twist. Because when you have positive things in your mind, you have something to pull from, and you can use those. So I wanted to make a life that was very impactful and using words that are very true to yourself. Because your environment, your people you hang around with, are going to dictate some of the things that you do in life. And your life, in your words, direct you in your path. So if your path is very negative, your life is negative. If your words are very positive, your life is going to go in a positive manner. So that had an impact on me and why I chose to use words that matter. So your words matter. And if you want to contact me, you can contact me at lbuckley1188 at gmail.com. lbuckley1188 at gmail.com. And also at problemsolvebook.com. Thank you.
Great, great. And we're going to ask you a couple more questions in a second. And you know, I'm going to let you know when Linda talked about words matter, we had a contest with the authors on who could sell the most books, and she said out her mouth she was going to win, and wouldn't you know it, she won. So this lady knows what she's talking about. Let's go now. We're going over to the West Coast. This book is an international book. This is an international release, and we say that we're not just saying words. We're not just putting fluff out there. This is an international release. We got people in Japan. We got people from all the different islands, but we also have people from the East Coast and all the way on the West Coast. So I want to introduce to you Dr. Roberta Wilburn from the West Coast. Dr. Wilburn of Wilburn and Associates, thank you for being a part of this evening. Thank you for being a part of this book. I want to give you a chance to go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience. Tell us about what they can get in your chapter.
Well, hello. Hi, Ryan. It is just so great to be with you and to be with my fellow authors this evening. And I'm Dr. Roberta Wilburn, and I am a diversity and inclusion expert. And I am about helping people to excel in a diverse and inclusive world by helping them to really come together and hopefully do some bridge building. Because right now we're living in a time and age where there is a lot of division between cultural groups, social groups, racial groups. And there's time out for that. And a lot of times there are people who are, say that I'm for Black Lives Matter or say that I'm, against all the Asian hate crimes. But in reality, they're doing what we call performative activism or optical, allyships, just doing things to look good. I'm going to put, a sign in my yard. But when it comes down to doing the real work, they're not doing it. And so I am about making diversity, equity, and inclusion matter. And this project matters because I think it's an example of what I talk about. Because if you look at all of the authors who are part of this project, diverse backgrounds, diverse perspectives. That's diversity. A lot of times people think about diversity simply in terms of black and white, race, or gender, but diversity is the full breadth of human differences. And in this project, that's what you will see. You will see a full breadth of differences. And it's about making your inclusion matter. That means that whatever you represent, whoever you are, be your authentic self and then present that to the world. You don't have to be anything other than who you are. And wherever you are, make it matter. And that's what I want to do. I want to have a life that's going to have an impact, not just today, but for future generations, for my grandkids and great grandkids, those kinds of things. And so, but I have to start today. And so I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. And we were, back in the day, it was the melting pot. And, we wanted people to lose their identity and just be American. But that was not effective. And it was also, from a mental health perspective, was very negative when you ask people to give up their identity. So I'm about helping people to realize that their identity matters. It doesn't matter whether they're white, they're black, they're Asian, or whatever, but whatever it is, be proud of who you are. And then let's make sure that we can make a difference. And my chapter is about making inclusion matter. And so I have something that I call the Get Real. Uh, um, and it is a model, or it's a framework. So it's the Get Real about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Because, as I said, it's time out for fake. It's time out for those people who are just trying to put up a front. And if people are serious about really coming alongside and making a difference, then they need to get real about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And if you want to work with me or my husband and my team, which we are, then feel free to contact me at drwilburn at wilburnassociates.org. And that's D.R. Wilburn, WILBURN. I'm forgetting at
Wilburn Associates.
Associates.org. And so I hope to hear from you soon.
You know, and as I told you, Dr. Wilburn, when we spoke, you know, your chapter was one of the ones that I actually learned the most from because, like you said, we hear the diversity, equity, inclusion thrown around all the time, and especially now, it's like, you know, that's one of the hot spaces to be in. But, you know, when you really start to read the chapter and realize how little, you know, I realized how little I actually knew about it. It was amazing. So definitely empowering what you shared as well. So before we get to our last of this segment, I want to make sure we don't forget the contest. If you comment right now, if you make a comment in this comment section during this live, you will be entered. You'll get one entry into our drawings at the end of the evening. If you share the link, if you hit the share button and share the link on your page, you'll get 2 entries into the drawing. So don't forget to do that. Want to have some interaction. Make sure that you are making a comment so we know that you're out there watching. So let's go to number 3. This young man, this gentleman is been someone who has been a role model to me, someone I've looked up to ever since my college days. And shout out to him and your daughter, because I know she just had a big announcement last week as well with her new Greek affiliations, but that's neither here nor there. I'm sure you might want to brag on her a little bit, but let's introduce from Atlanta, Georgia, our financial expert, Mr. Gregory L. Carter. Welcome, Gregory.
Hey, thank you, Ryan, and good to be with you, and good to be with these 2 phenomenal women and authors, part of our larger group, and just really feel blessed to be a part of this project. You know, my background is maybe familiar to some, maybe foreign to others, but I was a corporate person for about 20 years and just never felt like I was contributing what I should be contributing, and just, you know, really felt a push from God to do something different, and got into becoming a financial professional. And through that work, I use my expertise from my corporate days really to help people think about their lives as a plan. We all have plans when we wake up in the morning, you know, whether it's, hey, I'm gonna brush my teeth, then get my shower, I'm gonna get breakfast, and then get to work. Well, we don't often put a plan around our money. We'll even plan our kids' activities. And so I took my planning skills from my corporate days and I said, how can I help people do better in structuring their money and having the kind of future that they want? And one of the things that I remember that my mom taught me is to leave things better than I found them. Whether that was, you know, cooking in the kitchen, she'd say it should look cleaner than when you got to the kitchen. Whether it was your room when you left for the day, making your bed. And so that was really my goal in this book. How can I share some little known financial strategies with the greater world? How can I make a contribution so that people would say, hey, I never thought about that. Or maybe I should protect my family this way financially. Or maybe I should protect my own savings financially. And so that's really what I set out to do. And just some stats I'll throw out. If you don't really believe that people aren't prepared with money, 66% of baby boomers, which is a big population in our country, probably the largest or demographic group, they aren't confident that they'll have enough money to live on in retirement. And then when you look at my generation, Generation X, 40% of us have less than $50,000 saved in the bank. When you look at millennials, the stats are even worse. So again, my attempt in the book is really to help people understand the best way to structure money for the future. There's 6 or 7 points that I cover. I'll share 6 right now real quick. One is ensure you're properly protected. And people say, well, what does that mean? Do I need to, you know, get a firearm or a home security system or hire a security service? No, it's really to make sure that you don't have financial chaos happen when someone in the house has a serious, critical, chronic, or terminal illness. That's the one thing that can destroy a family financially. The second is, let's have some emergency funds. Let's make sure that we're saving at least 3 to 6 months of our normal income. Because as happened with me, I was downsized 3 times in a 7-year period in corporate America. Who knows when that could happen to them or other things that might happen. So you want to put money away. The third rather is save for retirement. And let's do that in a way that is safe. A lot of people I sit with, you all probably have heard or experienced yourself, they expect their retirement savings to go up and down because of the way the stock market moves and the volatility in the stock market. Well, there's strategies where you don't have to lose. You can save conservatively, protect your investment 100% and still grow. The fourth says, let's eliminate debt. This country was built on consumer debt, unfortunately. And a lot of us have gotten trapped in that. And so when we work with clients, we're serious about helping educate them on the perils of accumulating high interest debt. The next is increased cash flow. Now, I'm not saying everybody's got to be an entrepreneur, but think of ways you can either cut your expenses or increase cash that's coming into the house. And we help with ideas around that. And then finally is estate preservation. This is probably the biggest miss when you think about the African American community, or really all communities. What are your wishes for the future? Is your family to figure it out? And that's if you are somehow disabled and can't communicate. Do they know if you want to stay on life support? If you're in a coma, you should have your wishes laid out. If you're not here anymore, where do you want your assets to go? Who do you want them to go to? Who do you want to have financial power of attorney or medical power of attorney over you if you can't make those decisions? So those are some of the things we get into in the chapter. We really just want people to understand how to make their money matter. If you want to work with us, you can call us in our office at 404-713-5022, or you can just navigate online and check out some resources about financial planning and even schedule a meeting with us. That website is carterfinancial.us, like Uncle Sam, CARTER financial.us. And so again, excited to be a part of this project and contribute. I've learned so much from my fellow authors, and Ryan, you as well. And just glad that you tapped me to participate.
Absolutely, thank you. And I want to come right back to you, Greg, because I want to we'll go up the ladder here because you talked about, when I read the chapter, there's so many things, people. Our community, it seems like it's so taboo to talk about money, right? And then we wonder why we're always struggling to keep it because we don't want to talk about it and hear from other people who know what they're talking about. And another thing I know when you talk about estate planning, it seems like we're so afraid to talk about wills and talk about protecting our estates and how to pass things on. We'd rather people are too embarrassed to set up a will, but not embarrassed enough to not set up GoFundMe or something. Anyway, I'm sorry. That's not what we're supposed to talk about. That's not my question.
Right.
Greg, when people come to you, when they come to you and you're trying to, what's the biggest obstacle mentally that you have to break through to get people to say, okay, listen, I've been doing it wrong. I'm ready to go ahead and do this the right way?
Well, it's a couple of things. And I think the first, and you're hitting on it, is end of life planning, right? None of us want to think about our own mortality. However, I encourage clients to think about family members, neighbors, church members, coworkers who have had a family member who died too early. And that family struggled to try to piece things together and find documents and make decisions. Do you really want to leave that burden on your family? So let's do the planning now. The second is people think, Ryan, that they've got to have $1 million to work with a financial advisor or $500,000. Not true at all. And so a lot of people are embarrassed that they haven't saved appropriately. And so they don't want to work with anybody. And I liken that to somebody who's ailing and they don't want to go to the doctor because they think the doctor will say, now, why do you have that illness? Why didn't you come to me earlier? The doctor's not going to say that. They're just going to help you get better. And that's what we would do as a financial professional. And the third is, and I'll be very honest, in our industry, there's not a lot of trust of financial advisors, perhaps because of bad experiences people have had. And so I think those three things keep people from properly planning. But we work to meet people where they are, to make it less scary, give them examples and case studies. We use a lot of videos that explain concepts so that people can get comfortable, because you can't get where you're going without a solid plan or a roadmap. And that's what we want to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you part of the book, man. Like I said, we've known each other for 20-something years now, but never been able to work together like this. So this has been an awesome experience and opportunity. I want to go to you, Dr. Roberta, Dr. Wilburn, I'm sorry, because when people hear DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, most times I don't say most times, but I know a lot of people will relate that to, okay, there's a person at my job who handles that, or there's a professional who handles that. What would you say to the lay person, and how important, or how can they actively participate and make sure that they're on the right side of DEI without having to necessarily have a title of the DEI professional where they work?
Well, I think that it is so important for each and every one of us to have more be more culturally sensitive. And we're living in a global world. And so it's not just about who's on your job, but it's who's in your neighborhood, who's in your community, and how can we work together effectively. And I always say, and it was interesting because I was writing a post today. So Wednesdays are my fun days. Well, it's not just my fun days, but I block out my lunch time to spend with my 6-year-old grandson. And so he calls me mama, but I'm Black History Mama, because as far as he knows, that's what I love and that's what my passion is about. And so he was real concerned that well, Black History is over, Women's History Month is over. Am I still going to have time with mama? Yeah, I'm like, yes. I'm like, History is 365 days a year. This stuff that we have to learn. Yeah, all the time. But I said, we have to start. It starts in our families. It starts in our homes. And we have to be very intentional about teaching our children, but also doing the work for ourselves. And so that's what I would say to anyone, is that if you want to be a part of the solution, then start looking at yourself. Let's look at what skills do you have? Where are you? And so there's an assessment that I do, and it's an intercultural development inventory. And it allows me to find out where each person is on the continuum in terms of attitudes and views related to intercultural issues. And we're all at different points because of our background, how we were raised in societies. And it doesn't matter where you are. It's not bad or good. It's just where you are. But wherever you are, that starting point, we want you to move forward. And so that's one of the things that I do, is I help people to identify where they are on the continuum and say, hey, let's develop a plan to help you move forward in a positive way so that you can be a more culturally sensitive, responsive human being. And then also it positions you to be hired for positions, because agencies are left and right. That's what they're looking for right now. They're looking for people who know how to be culturally sensitive and responsive to their clients.
Awesome. That was a golden nugget you just had right there. If you're looking trying to get a step up in your job search, get some DEI under your belt, know how to be culturally sensitive, so they don't have to be firing you and have people canceling you all over Instagram and stuff because you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yes. So, Linda, let me go back to you before we close out. You mentioned positive affirmations, and I am a proponent of affirmations. We're talking about the words that we speak and making our words matter. Why are affirmations so important and so effective? And maybe how can someone who's not used to doing it maybe get started doing it?
Affirmations are important because they can help you focus in on life. As our other authors were speaking, like, you have an affirmation, I am financially fit. Now, how can you be financially fit? As Greg said, you can put in a plan. When you have a plan in place to be financially fit, you feel good about yourself. Your financial things are in order, and that will uplift your life. And that's one of the affirmations, I am financially fit. As Dr. Wilburn was saying, diversity in our life, that it could be an affirmation, because we all deal with different things in our life. And those things help us to propel ourselves forward. Staying positive on what's good in life. And being positive for what's good in your life, you think about yourself and you think about what you want to do. And in order to move forward in life, you're going to have some things that propel you. And usually some positive affirmations will propel you to move forward in your life. I'm confident, I'm a winner, I am the best that I can possibly be. With those kind of affirmations, you're going to have to do some work to get there. Because they, just saying the affirmations alone, but once you put in the work, you will get there. And so that will propel your life to help you to stay positive and to stay focused and to put things in your life that will benefit you.
Awesome. Listen, man, this has been a powerful segment. We could go on all night, but we have 17 authors in this book, so we've got to go on to our next segment. I want to thank you again, Linda Buckley, Dr. Roberta Wilburn, Gregory L. Carter. You can get and read their whole chapters in the book when you make your purchase at www.themakeitmatterproject.com. You see the link below. Make sure you go ahead and support. Listen, this is our celebration. The book goes live internationally tomorrow, so we want to make sure that we celebrate all this week, but you can still go and support independent publishing, support independent authors by going to our website and getting it. Don't go to Amazon, let them undercut us and take half of everything. Don't do that. Support the business. Buy from us directly. Go to the website, get it. Listen, we're going to take a short break. We'll come right back with some more authors. I am Ryan C. Greene. You're watching the Make It Matter Live virtual release. And we'll be right back after this. All right, welcome back from another break. Again, welcome back. We have 3 new authors with us for this segment. Before we get into that, I want to make sure I remind you all, don't forget the contest that's going on right now. For everyone who makes a comment on the live feed, you will be entered into our drawing. At the end, you'll get 1 entry into the drawing. Everyone who shares this feed out, it's not too late to share the feed out. When you share the feed, you're going to get 2 entries into our drawing. So we're giving away some fun materials and some things. Someone may get a Make It Matter t-shirt. We've got the Make It Matter hoodies. I mean, I know it's April now, but still, you're going to need a hoodie come next year. So some people just like hoodies in the summertime anyway. So, I mean, anybody that has kids know they wear hoodies at 90 degrees. But let me stop. I'm going all off track. All right. So, listen, we got some goodies that we want to give away. So make sure that you all do that. Go ahead and make a comment. Share this out. We appreciate all of your contributions and help and interaction. All right, so let's jump right into it. All right. Oh, one more thing. I do have a free gift. If you haven't paid attention yet at the bottom, you text the word MATTER to 614-333-0338. You'll get a free gift as well, just for being here. All right. Let's jump right into the next group of authors. If you all are looking at, is my right? I guess my right. You are seeing 3 phenomenal people on the screen now. We want to go ahead and introduce these 3 phenomenal people. Let's start at the top of our screen. Dr. Jonas Gadsden, DTM. Man, this gentleman, if you're not sitting down, sit down, buckle in, strap up, whatever it is, because this guy, they call him Mr. Enthusiasm. So we want to make sure that you all are ready. Dr. Jonas,
great, sir.
Welcome. How are you, sir? Good. So tell us who Dr. Jonas is. I can't wait to hear some Jonas with the bonus with Jonases. Tell them about your chapter, Make Your Future Matter, and what people should get from your contribution to the book.
Well, there are 3 kinds of people: those that make things happen, those that make things happen, and those who do what happened. I am a person that make things happen, and I know that you are too. Well, my chapter is dealing with facing the future with a new focus, and is emphasizing that the best way to predict the future is to create it. And bonus of Jonas, your future is so bright, you're gonna be aware of this. Because and I'm dealing with the V's when I'm dealing with facing the future with a new focus. And so one of the things that I'm talking about is number one is dealing with vision. When your vision is clear, your decision is easy. So getting a larger vision of yourself. And the reason I'm so excited about the is and to be in part with so many other great authors is that you matter. You know, you matter, your book matter, your voice matter, your life matter, your dream matter. And that's why I'm so excited about that. So when you're dealing with a vision, one of my favorite books says, with vision, the people will flourish. But without vision, the people perish. So getting a larger vision for yourself. This is the decade for the doers. And this is to do it right now, to have you to live your dreams, to live your and to live your aspiration. In the book, I talk about taking a chance, take charge and control of your life.
Dr. Jonas, thank you so much. That was awesome. I want to move right next to, now we'll move on to Brian Olds. And this man, some of you may not know who he is yet, but you will know him. He is probably one of the most influential leaders and movers and shakers in the speakers industry, specifically when it comes to Black speakers. He is the founder, the CEO of Black Speakers Network, played a huge role in even this project. I've known him since he was in college. Watched this man grow. So I want to welcome Brian Olds.
Hey, I'm doing fantastic, Ryan. Thank you so much, man.
Welcome,
and listen,
Brian.
I'm just excited to be in the building, not only with you, but, you know, and the likes of, you know, the Kimberly LaBou's, the Dr. Jonas Gadsons of the world. And listen, I'm super excited, man. Thank you for putting together this project, and, you know, looking forward to seeing the lives that it's going to impact.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. And let's talk to you about your contribution, because you know you have put together such a great community when it comes to what you do with Black Speakers Network, and you talk about that in the book. When we talk about Make It Matter, we talk about making your message matter, but you focus specifically on building community. So talk to us about Brian Olds, Black Speakers Network, why building
absolutely.
So
anyone who knows my story probably
impact
realizes, Ryan, when you met me back in college, that was at Morgan State University way back in 2006. And one thing you probably might not realize about me is that, you know, I was a certified introvert and still am. You know, I absolutely could not lead two people in silent prayer when I first began this journey of speaking in front of an audience. But guess what? What I learned is that speaking is a skill, and a skill that you can acquire and really refine, and if you really want to, master along the way. And I really believe that everyone has an audience that they're called to serve. Now, everyone may not necessarily, you know, see themselves as a motivational speaker or really any sort of professional speaker, but, you know, wherever you are, one thing I know for sure is that your message matters. And so whether you want to broadcast that message around the world, or you just need to amplify that message to connect with the audience that you're called to serve right in your own community, your message matters. And that's why I was so excited to have an opportunity to share as a part of this book on that part. And one thing that I really wanted to make sure folks got from my chapter was the answer to the question, you know, how did you do it? And so for me, when I left Morgan State University and graduated and went into corporate, I kind of broke the rules, Ryan. For folks in my generation, the millennials, you know, we change jobs on average every 2 to 3 years, sometimes every, 6 to 12 months. I stayed at the same job, and you probably know this, for 11 years. And I know I calculated, I calculated exactly how many trips that was back and forth to the same parking lot over and over and over again. And I know there are a lot of people right now that are in that space where they know that there's something inside of them just waiting to bust out and conquer the world, but yet, you know, you're still tied to the proverbial chain of corporate America. So for this chapter and Make Your Message Matter, I not only wanted to talk about the power of how my message and finding my voice has influenced my life and my career, but also how I was able to, of course, make the transition from corporate America, which happened in 2019, now to running Black Speakers Network full time. And so for those that don't know, Black Speakers Network, we of course are a nationwide membership based professional speaking and empowerment organization. We have a community of well over 12,000 current and inspiring professional speakers. Many of the incredible authors that are part of this project are part of Black Speakers Network. And so, you know, our goal is to equip, connect, and inspire the next generation of Black professional speakers. Now, that all sounds good on paper, but we all know that as an entrepreneur, nothing happens until you actually are able to solve a problem. And when you're solving a problem, you're rewarded in the marketplace by, you know, having people can actually pay you and creating a real business behind that. And so with this chapter, what I break one of the myths that I really struggled with when I first started BSN in 2016. And that was, I thought that I had to replace my income. And that's what we hear all the time, Ryan, is that, hey, you know, if you really want to, you know, move from your full-time job to being a full-time entrepreneur, you need to replace your income. But one of the things that I learned, and I'm going to share in this chapter, is that you don't need to replace your income as much as you need to replace the systems that actually generate your income. Systems are going to make the difference between the person that's a side hustler, the grinder, or the person that's, you know, starting at the same place at the beginning of the next month, to the person that's actually building a scalable business. And I believe that the way to actually do that is through what I call the 3 C's of monetizing your message through memberships. And so I'll break it all down in the chapter, Ryan. I'm going to talk about those 3 C's. I mean, I give them to you right now. It's curate, connect, and ultimately you want to convert your folks into memberships. But I also break down some of the common myths about building a membership community, such as the differences between a membership, a subscription, and also the community itself. So with that said, man, I am super excited. I'm looking forward to having you all go on this journey with me, and the journey of the so many authors that are part of this project, because every single chapter in this piece is going to be valuable. And I think if you read it and apply it, it'll allow you to take that next step and actually serve in the audience that you're called to. So thank you again, Ryan, for this.
Absolutely. You know, I love that. And I told you before, I love when you talk about not just replacing your income, but replacing the systems that produce your income, because you can go from one job to another and replace your income, but you're still in the same rat race that you wanted to get out of. So good stuff, man. Good stuff. Let us go to Miss Kimberly K. LaBoo. I love saying her name. I don't know. I love her name. But and it's funny I say that because you read her chapter, she talks about her name. So how empowering that is, making her name matter. But that's not what her chapter is about, not making your name matter, but making your story matter. So I want to introduce Kimberly K. LaBoo with LaBoo Publishing. Yeah. We've worked together a lot, and I don't say we worked together a lot, but we've been in the same space a lot as independent publishers. So you know, I've known who she is and have been around her for a while. So I'm excited to work with her. When her name came across as being a part of this project, I was like, okay, yeah, let's go. So, Kimberly, you know, I don't say that lightly. I'm excited that you were part of this book. Talk to the people. Let them know who you are, why your chapter, Make Your Story Matter.
Yes. So who I am, I'm the CEO and founder of LaBoo Publishing Enterprise. And I love to help people write books. I love to assist them with sharing their stories. And so when your project came about, Make Your Story Matter, just was so exciting to me, because that's something that I talk to people about all the time, is not taking your gifts, your talents, your dreams, your vision, and all of the things that are deep down inside of you, that don't take that to the grave. Like, there are so many people who can benefit from what you have. And so that's sort of what I write about in my chapter of Making Your Story Matter. I tell several of my stories to let you see how I've made things in my life matter. And so I get great joy out of assisting individuals with showing them how their message, how their story, how their experiences can impact the lives of other people. And so that's a lot of what my chapter is about. I work with a lot of writers, first-time authors. I love first-time authors because I like to show people who think they can't that they can. And a lot of people for years will say, I wish I want to write a book. I want to write a book. And they never do it because they don't know what to do. And so at LaBou Publishing, we're full service, and we like taking people from the very beginning to being a published author. And so Make Your Story Matter is just tapping into those gifts and those talents and getting people to see that their story has impact, that their stories need to be shared. In a time like we're in, right now, there's so many people leaving us with the rest of their stories untold, and it's been so impactful to me just because of the work that I do. And you know that I recently lost a family member, and that was my aunt. She's like the matriarch of the LaBou family. And in my chapter, you said I talk about my name and what my family name means and why my business is named after my dad, my dad's last name. But and I would talk to my aunt all the time because she was the one who was bringing the family reunions together and, making sure that we all stayed connected. And we always talked about her sharing her story, writing her story. She's like, I'm going to get it to you, and we all think that we have forever. Right. And so one of the things that I love to do is to just push people to stop thinking that you have all the time in the world to do this, because it's a part of your legacy. Not only are you doing it for other people out in the world that will be impacted by your message, but when you go on about your way, it's something that your family can pick up and have a part of you, because your message is in more than just your obituary. That's not the last thing that they're left with. And so I really want to encourage people to write their stories, share their stories, because their stories really do matter.
So awesome, so awesome.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just kind of resonates and lines up with, I experienced the same thing, just last year, my father passed away in September, and all he ever talked about was wanting to write his book, tell his story. And unfortunately, COVID hit. I couldn't see him all year. We never got around to telling his story, the way he wanted to tell it. And I talk about him, and actually part of my chapter I talk about making your story matter as well. And it's about him, I talk about him too in there. So, it's so important that we do tell that story. So I want to ask you, and then we'll go back up the line and answer everyone else some follow-up questions as well. So I want to talk to you though, Kimberly, new author coming in, who knows they've been through something. All right, let me frame it like this, because you and I are in the same space, so we deal with new authors who want to tell their stories. Maybe, here's what I get sometimes. People want to tell their story. They know they lived something, they've told something. How would you tell them, what's the first thing maybe you would tell them to do? I've got this story I want to tell, but they don't know. They just want to write information. But you got to put it into a book. So what's kind of the first thing they can do if they want to get prepared to really go from just these thoughts and these stories in their head to how am I going to put this in a book?
Right.
That
So a lot of times we start with writing down those significant things that, especially if you're writing something like a memoir, write down the significant things that have happened in your life that have really impacted you. So write those down on paper, and then think about what your message is that you want to share with the world right now. And then go back and look at those areas that you pointed out and see which of those fit into the story that you want to mold and shape in order to release right now. And usually when I get people to do that, because sometimes people just need to do a brain dump and get it out on paper. Some people get caught up with so much stuff. Like they're already trying to become New York Times bestseller and haven't written a word. And I always say nothing happens until you write, so just outlining those important areas that of their lives and things that have impacted their lives, and then going back and kind of filling in those blanks, and then we can put it all together in order to make it flow. And then not only those experiences, like, because we don't want people to just bleed all over the page, talking about their pain that they've been through. We want them to get that part out, but we want the victory in it as well. So helping people to know that, okay, I'm writing out all of my experiences. This is what I want to talk about, but then helping them to pull the message out of that that's going to be able to help them to help somebody else. And so that's kind of where we start with that type of book.
Yeah, good stuff. I think and that's why I asked you, because I experienced the same thing. People, they just want to get it all out.
Yes.
Put everything in it. Well, this happened, then this happened, then this happened. It's like, hold on.
You can write another book. You can write 2 and 3 and 4.
You don't have to put everything in here, right?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Thank you. Right. So absolutely. Good stuff. Brian, I want to come back to you. I want to talk about memberships and the membership. We talking about Black Speakers Network. Last count I saw, I think it was over 12,000 members.
Yes, we have. The way we kind of break it down is, and I get into this in the book too, because I think it's so important, because you have memberships, you have subscription, and you have community. And so, and there's layers to it. And so what we've done in BSN, before I even thought about, charging people for a membership or really monetizing it, we wanted to create a community, a safe space where people can come in and really just get the basics, and really also for us too, to learn where we can create value. And so the membership community right now sits at around 12,000. We don't have 12,000 people paying us every single month. We'll get to that at some point, but that's the community that we serve. Right. And then we of course have hundreds of members who are now part of the BSN subscription, which we're serving at a deeper level on a monthly basis.
And that's why I asked the question, because I wanted to kind of go through that process. I think that I'll ask you, when you started, did you start with the end in mind? Like, you knew, hey, I want to have a paid subscription base, but let me start with the community? Or did you were like, hey, let me just do this community. Oh, wait, I can charge for this, and then started charging, because people who are going to watch and want to build something, everyone's trying to start a Facebook group, trying to build their community, which they should be doing. But what would you suggest their mindset be going in trying to build this?
Yeah, I mean, that's an excellent question. And so for me, it was the latter, what you said. We had this community, and then I had a conversation with my financial planner, is a great guy named John, and he was like, hey, are you ever going to monetize this thing? And I'm like, we're fine. He was like, hey, you probably have people that are ready to pay you now, but they just don't have a mechanism to do it. And so one of the reasons I wrote the chapter, going back to the systems mindset, is that I think that I wouldn't want people to necessarily do it the exact way that I did, but I think that there is a lot of value in being in a place where you're not, putting profits first over the ability to create and sustain value. And one of the things, the process that I outlined in the book, the very first C is curate. And the curate means that you have to intentionally set a vision for the type of community that you want to create. There are a lot of different ways to get to the same end result in this space that we're in. Author, speaker, coach, entrepreneur, like there are so many different ways to create value. Not everybody wants to be a coach. Not everybody wants to create courses. Not everybody wants to speak 180 times a year. Dr. Jonas should, because he's awesome, but like, I don't want to speak 180 times a year. Like, there are some people that you have to figure out what your path to profit is. And if you're going to go down this path of profit of building a community, which I 100% think that communities in general are the future of business, then there are just some things that you need to be aware of, but you get to decide what that looks like. And so I think, beginning with the end in mind is the best way to go about it. But once you have folks who are following you, and most of us, whether intentionally or unintentionally, I wouldn't say that. Most of us, whether we realize it or not, already have a community of some sort. It's probably just disorganized. If you flip open your phone, most of us have 200 people. Most of us have an email list. Most of us have a following, but they just haven't organized it into an intentional community. And that's the thing that you can begin to do. And I lay down the steps for, how to do that.
Awesome. I want to close us out here with Dr. Jonas. I want to bring you back in here, and we're talking about making our future matter. You talk about people who wish things happen, make things happen, wonder what happened. We got somebody right now who we just lived through, and on the tail end, hopefully people start wearing their masks and get their vaccines. On the tail end of this shutdown, after this year that we've experienced, people are now trying to do things differently. They realize that, hey, if this was the end, this wasn't good enough for me, so I need to change some things now. You can give one tip right now for people to get started, impact to make their future more impactful and more fulfilling for themselves. What would you tell them right now?
Well, what I would encourage is that don't focus on what you have lost. Focus on what you have left, because what you have left is enough to get the job done. That's why I would encourage them. Yeah.
I like that. Awesome. Oh, man, I like that. So I like that. We're going to leave it right there. I want you all to go ahead. I will start with Dr. Jonas. Give out your contact info, how people can get in touch with you and follow you.
I have a free gift. You can go to www.jonasbonus.com for a gift. And also they can follow me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and that's how you can get in contact with me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Brian,
absolutely. You can check us out. We are at Black Speakers Network everywhere. Certainly blackspeakersnetwork.com is the place to go. And Black Speakers Network on Facebook. If you want to join the BSN community, would love to have you. And I am 100% excited to connect with everyone. So as we say in BSN, keep speaking up because your audience awaits.
Awesome. And Kimberly LeBeau.
Our email address is staff@LeBeauPublishing.com. Our website is www.LeBeauPublishing.com, which also has a contact page. We're on Facebook, LeBeau Publishing Enterprise. And for me, myself personally and all that I do, if you can spell my first name, you can find me anywhere.
All right, there we go. And that's Kimmoly.
That's right.
But if you had the book, you'd already know how to spell a name. So make sure you go ahead and hit the link below, and type the link below, get the book, so you know how to spell Kimberly. Anyway, but listen, I want to thank you all for joining us for this celebration. I want to thank you all for who are watching. Listen, we got a special treat coming up right now. We're going to take a quick break. We got a special treat. My best friend in the whole world, hip-hop artist Salim and his band, the Music Lovers, have a new album coming out, and they're going to bless us with, they allowed us to, bless you all with one of their singles. So we're going to go to a video featuring their new song, and after that we'll come right back, and we're going to close it out with our last group of authors. So again, stay tuned. Thank you. Share this out again. Thank you, Dr. Jonas. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Kimberly, and we'll talk to you right after the break.
They're telling me I'm so Baltimore, see, I know Baltimore. Got all the scars and scrapes to claim the smaller boy. Became a man still standing on these hardened floors. Blood stains the wood grain, the pain of modern war. No extra lives, no online campaigns. This ain't a game, see your murder race got names to break families. Can it be that it was all so simple when the system wasn't trying to build a wall to separate the gunshots from the arts district? But the tipping point is that the system is indifferent. 11 of my uncles died before I reached 35. Funerals were more common in Chameleon. I got more obituaries than report cards. We normalize death, trying to ignore scars post-traumatic. But when you live amongst death, the habit is to expect another death with every breath tragic. And that city life is real filthy, right? You live by the sword, die in the gunfight. I'm living life on the edge of eternal night. can't escape death when that's the better bet. And that city life is real filthy, right? You live by the sword, die in a gunfight. I'm living life on the edge of eternal night. I can't escape death. See, we mainstream lost, bullets of pop culture. YouTube and deafened consumers are the top vultures. Fascinated with death, their appetites won't be sated unless death visits their doorstep. See, pain, it's not an abstract concept. I'm conscious of the tears dripping through my beard was nauseous. While Uncle Bill left, staying in Uncle Junior. Uncle Henry is too many for me to consider listing. I listen to the soundtracks from the city. Hope in the middle of gun smoke is gritty. A beautiful struggle to see a pretty black smile. Walking by a pile of garbage while a river now delivers tainted water to the seeds I ham. Black fist with the black jacket, wearing a black tam. Look, I'm not your victim, but I've been victimized. And now my spine is strong enough to look you in your eye. See, and that city life, it's real filthy, right? You live by the sword, die in a gunfight. I'm living life on the edge of eternal night. I can't escape death, cause that's the better bet. And that city life is real filthy, right? You live by the sword, die in a gunfight. I'm living life on the edge of eternal night. I can't escape death. See, Rosa Parks sat down, Malcolm X stood up, Martin was assassinated, James Byrd decapitated, strange fruit growing, Southerners not knowing if it's ripe enough to pick, with the gun or with the brick. Mega ever shot by a gun on the bricks of his driveway, left behind a wife and 3 kids. This is highway robbery or blaxploitation. 2 black senators to represent the nation, 1 black president. Is not equality when lobbyists control all our governmental policies. Hurricane Katrina victims still without homes, but they fixed up Bourbon Street and the Superdome. They fixed downtown Baltimore for the tourists. 5 blocks away resides Baltimore's poorest. Black men have the shortest lifespan of anyone. Black women raising kids on a single income. Scream revolution, I'll stand front and center with the red, black, and green gold cap for the winter. Blood, sweat, and tears, cause somebody gonna remember how my forefathers were terrorized and dismembered. I'll die for my pride, so if you call me a nigga, you better have a gun and the heart to pull a trigger. Young kids respect death, so they keep dying in the street quarters, in the gutters, undignifying to see. That city life is real filthy, right? You live by the sword, die in a gunfight. I'm living life on the edge of eternal night. I can't see. That city life is real filthy, right? You live by the sword, die in a gunfight. I'm living life on the edge of eternal night. I can't escape death, cause that's the better bet. That city life, real filthy, right? Live by the sword, die in the gunfight. I'm living life on the edge of eternal night. Can't escape death, cause that's the better bet. And that city life. I'm living life on the edge of eternal night. Can't escape death, cause that's the better bet. And that's city life. That's city life. That's city life. And that's city life. And that's city life.
All right, welcome back. I'm telling you, was that a great song or what? I am, we are coming down the home stretch. We got our last segment here. Man, if you have been with us all night, I want to thank you. Hold on tight because we have a few more authors that we want to bring in on the celebration. Then we're going to get to the drawings and all that good stuff. So if you've been making comments, then you're going to get 1 entry for making a comment. You get 2 entries for sharing out the link for tonight. It's still not too late. You go ahead, share it out now. We'll still throw you in to the raffle. So go ahead and do that. So again, I want to thank you. Make sure you go take advantage of the free giveaway. Text matter to 614-333-0338. You'll get a free gift just for joining us tonight. So let's jump right in. I know we have 2 on the screen. We'll probably have 1 more joining us. But let's jump right into our last authors of the evening. I want to start at the top of the screen with Dr. Sharita Weatherspoon. Dr. Sharita, welcome tonight. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So I was excited when I was able to talk to you because, we have, I told you, we have 5 doctors in this book, in this project. So I'm like, we've got people from all walks of life, all over the country. But your experience being in higher education and now in business development, I was like, this was when I talked to you, I was like, you know what, this is somebody who my mother-in-law would love to be in touch with. So I'm put y'all in touch with each other eventually, but because she's in your space as well, mover and shaker and doing some great things. But I want to talk to you because you talk about making your business matter. Okay, so let's jump right in. Tell us about what about business, because business is a big word. So what about making your business matter? Because you talk about having impact and you have a whole system about impact. So, I mean, it fit perfectly with this project. So talk about making your business matter, why that is what you do, what people can look to gain from your chapter, and, why you wanted to share it with us.
Yeah, so making your business matter is really about building a business that not only brings you income, but makes an impact for the people or organizations that you serve, and also for you and for your family. Oftentimes, I think we get so focused on the transactions that we forget about the transformation, which means that eventually your business will end up suffering if people aren't getting real transformation from the products or services that you provide. But then we also find ourselves in these situations where we feel like we're just in another job, even though it's our business. And we're, working like employees in our business. We're not fulfilled. We're not getting the joy and the peace that we anticipated from having our own businesses. So what I do is work with professional Black women specifically in helping them to build a business that is impactful for them as well as for their clients from the beginning. So we're looking out at the future and at the vision that they have for their life and for their business, and really laying the foundation for that from the start of their business.
Awesome. Now, how did you get into this? Like, how'd you find this lane and say, this is where I'm supposed to be?
Yeah, so as a short version of that story,
Okay.
is that, I have been preparing to do this for a long time. I always knew that my calling was related to helping other people really step fully into who they were created to be and do the work that they were born to do so that they can live the life that they desire to live. But wasn't quite sure how that would manifest in my life. My higher ed administration experience kind of fed into that. Looked like it was the right thing, but I think it was the wrong group of people and the wrong methodology. But I took a lot from my experience, 20 plus years experience in that field, is coming with me into my business. But a lot of studying, a lot of kind of learning through my own process and getting clear on what I really wanted to do, how I wanted to serve, and how I could serve in a way that would make a difference in my clients' lives, but that I really felt good about. That I knew I was providing results,
Yeah.
but I could see the results of what I was doing in my life. That I had freedom, that my income was continuing to grow, that I was emotionally well and satisfied in the work that I was doing. And after figuring out how to do that in my own business, it was clear to me that this is what I need to help other women do, because it took me a while to get there. And it should not have taken me as long as it did. And I didn't want other women to have to waste time and energy and even financial resources trying to figure it out.
I love the one thing you said in there was that you were doing, I'm paraphrasing, but you were doing the right thing, but in the wrong place with the wrong people. And I think a
Mhm.
lot of people are in that situation that they're talented, they're skilled, they're doing the right work, but you might be in the wrong place. You might be in the wrong situation. And sometimes you have to figure out where you really need to be to find that fulfillment part of what we're talking about making matter. So that was good stuff, good stuff. All right, great. So let's move on. As you can see, we've got our third author with us, so we're excited. We want to make sure that we bring everybody on board. So we've got our third author. I know you can see her, but act like you can. Just put your hand over the screen real quick. We're going to keep it a secret till we get to her. So we're going to go right next to our second author is Juanita H. Grant out of Massachusetts. She's in Massachusetts. And so we want to talk to her because her chapter is about make your parenting matter. And I know when she sent me the idea of what she wanted to write about, I was like, yep, I want that in here, okay? Because that was something that was it's a little different, but it's important as well, and it encompasses more than just your personal self and your business side or what you're trying to do. So let me just bring her on. Juanita Grant, thank you for joining us. Talk to us about who you are, why make your parenting matter was something that was important to you, and what people are going to get from your chapter in the book.
Hi, thank you, Ryan. Yes, I'm Juanita Grant, and I decided when I learned what Ryan was doing, first of all, I was extremely excited about the title, Make It Matter, because that's one thing everywhere I go, every time I speak, I make sure to let people know everything that we do, we need to make it matter, that it's really important. And I wanted to share with the world, make your parenting matter. I love parenting. I have two older young men now, and I've adopted two teenagers who are awesome. And I have parented so many children. I've been a foster mother, a kinship mother, an adoptive mother, and it was really important to let and share with people, regardless of what you've been through in your life, that you could be an amazing parent. So I decided to write it with a personal spin as opposed to just a third party spin. I used myself as an example, and I wanted to just share because I've experienced so many things. And sometimes we feel when we go through different things in our lives that we may or may not be a good parent. So I just wanted to share with the world, listen, regardless of what you go through, you can be an amazing parent. Make your parenting matter because we are our children's first leader. Everything that we do, it really matters. And oftentimes our children follow our lead and we don't realize that until later on. So what we do, how we do, the examples that we set are often emulated with our children. They become who we are at times.
Awesome. And what I loved about your story when it comes to parenting is that you do touch on, because of your personal experience, so many non-traditional ways of parenting. I think that there we come out and we grow up, we taught one thing: go and have babies. That's how you become a parent, right? But there's so many other there's children and kids out there who need parents in non-traditional ways. And I think that what your chapter does is help really tell that story and how you can still be impactful on young people's lives without them having to be your biological children. So what was it about? And you don't have to get into the whole thing. People can read the chapter for everything. But what was it about your story, or when was it? What point in your life did you say, um, "This is my call and my place to start to bring other children into my life and parent them"?
Because of the experiences that I've gone through in school, I've gone through bullying.
Mhm.
I've experienced, the children were very cruel to me. I decided as a child that when I got older, that I wanted to protect children.
Mm.
So that's pretty much where it started. And I did not know that one of my friends, she worked for a foster care agency. She said, "You know what? You would be," I was sharing with her my dreams. She said, "You would be really good at this." She said, "You should give it a try." So I got into foster parenting at a young age, and it from there it just took off. I've had several different children. I've even had a residential child, a residential home in my personal home. It was really quite incredible having six teenagers at one time under the same roof, and
I can't
females
imagine
at
that
that.
food bill.
Uh, it was interesting.
Right. Wow.
Yes.
So awesome. Let's jump to our last author of the evening, Monique Toussaint, the French name, Monique Toussaint. So y'all, if y'all haven't picked up by now, I love names. So I like, just having fun with names. And Toussaint just makes you smile when you say it. You feel sophisticated when I say Toussaint. So Monique Toussaint, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this project and your chapter, Make Your Moments Matter. We had to trim it down because we had to make it a one word title, make your one word matter. But you are monumental, and I don't say that by mistake. So talk to us about monumental, Make Your Moments Matter, what you wrote about, and who Monique Toussaint is.
Sure. Now I feel like I need to be sophisticated because you now made me Monique Toussaint.
Yeah, you came with it.
And so I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be a part of this project, ladies. I am honored to be on with you guys. And I'm just grateful for Ryan for saying yes, allowing me to use this book as an opportunity to encourage people to maximize their moments. So my name is Monique Toussaint, and I am the president of Monumental Business Solutions, and I am a monumental moment maximizers. So I like to use tips and tools and techniques to motivate leaders to maximize pivotal moments in their career journey and achieve success. And so by trade, I'm a certified career coach, and I love to connect ideas to action and provide a space for my clients to live. So leverage their skills, identify the opportunities to grow, create value in their relationships, and evaluate progress as they evolve through life. And that's kind of where make your moments matter came in. So I am guilty as charged of always trying to do too much with my time. And I am, that they say preachers, they usually write sermons for themselves. And so I try to maximize every moment of every day. I'm like, okay, I could do 6 to 6:15. All right, I'll do 6:30 to 7. Okay, I'll do 7 to 7:45. And so, but we don't cherish the moments that we're in. So a lot of that is one, we say yes to too many things, or no, we don't say no to things we're supposed to, or there are just things that happen in our life that change our lives that we don't recognize that they changed our lives because we are so focused on getting to the next thing on our agenda. And so in this chapter, we talk about the importance of cherishing the moments that made you who you are. Now, which one? I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see her, but her last name right now. But she just talked about a pivotal moment in her life that shaped who she became. And that's really what my chapter is about. Identifying those moments that projected your journey. You didn't recognize that you being bullied as a child would take you to being one of the best parents for not just your natural children, but the children that you fostered. But it's those critical moments in our lives that cause us to be who we are as a leader in our homes, as a leader on our jobs, as a leader in our churches and organizations, but taking the time to cherish the moments that we have when they happen, or cherishing them after the fact, right? Because you thank God for that moment, even if in the moment you didn't appreciate it. And so a lot of that is kind of the background for the concept of the chapter, but I could dive into it a little bit more, but I want to pause for, maybe into the question.
Yes. So here, let's I'll be the example. I'm coming to you right now. I'm saying, listen, I've lived this life. I've lived, I don't know which moments were the ones that are gonna catapult me to one way or the other. What do you tell someone who's coming to you for the first time, trying to find some direction? Like, how do we go through that process of really trying to evaluate or look at our life and figure out what it is that we should be, what moments we should be using to get us to the next phase.
Yeah. So this chapter walks you through that process. So
Okay.
if you don't know how to, in the chapter, I've provided guiding questions to help you to identify that defining moment. And so one of the first things that it tells you to do is to just reflect. There are a couple questions that say, you know what, Ryan, you are looking for this moment. You don't know what it is, but because you haven't sat down with yourself, a lot of us don't take time to sit down and reflect what happened in our lives, or reflect. Period. A lot of us don't sit down and be still. Period.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and so the first thing I would tell you to do is reflect. Can you identify those moments? Do you know those moments? If not, then let's sit and think and talk and journal and so there's this thing that I do. I do two things when I do training and workshops. One, I always start with some kind of close your eyes, breathe, stop. Let's focus on what's happening. And so we have to first just be still. Be still with yourself. Be still with your thoughts. If you're a thinker like me, your brain's always going, but be still. As you're thinking about what that looks like, I want you to think about, was there a time in elementary when you got recognized for something and you felt good about it? Did something happen in high school when you were in a play or a science project? Like maybe you were a college athlete and noticed the difference between being popular or working hard. Like there are different things that happen to you that you don't think about that help to contribute to who you are right now. And the goal is to help you figure that out. So as you're sitting and thinking about that moment, you have to find it, acknowledge it, right? Like what about it makes it stand out? And so once we can figure that out, it's a beacon of light for the future we're building right now. We all know, like we may act like we don't know, but there is something that happened to you that shaped who you are. Like for me, right? I was going to work for Geico, make lots of money, probably be in my yacht right now or something, laid out on an island in their waters, just being creative and making ads. But one of my critical moments was I interned for a nonprofit, and I was just going to do the website and do their marketing, and it was in DC, and the schools are horrible. And she was like, no, you got to go to the sites and see it. And seeing that crippled me. I was like, oh my God, I got to help the kids. I would be rich right now, but I feel more fulfilled and have an abundant life because I'm helping the children. But yeah, no, I think that if we take some time to think about it, there is one thing or one or two things that helped us to craft where we are in our journeys.
Yeah, I won't go into my stories. I mean, I've told it and throughout all my books that I've written, but that's so true because I can look back at certain moments in my life that okay, this was the pin the catapult that set everything else up, you know. So yeah, that's huge, and I think that like you said, sometimes you got to sit still. There was a meme recently going around the internet talking about something that I forgot. I'm paraphrasing. Moving to Atlanta won't solve your problems. You got to fix yourself, something like that. But just that's it. Some people are just afraid of just sitting still and listening to themselves. Maybe they're afraid of what answers they may find. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to Dr. Sharita. We want to close this thing out, so I'm going to give you all a chance to give some final words and some contact information. Dr. Sharita, Dr. Weatherspoon, I don't know which one you prefer. I'll be just taking liberties with people. I apologize. I don't want to offend anybody, but let's say you got the person coming in and they watch this, they've gotten the book or they're about to buy the book because they click the link at the bottom. They're going to buy the book, and they know, hey, after this last year, it's time for me to either start my business or improve my business. Like you said, maybe it's been taking them too long. They're already in business, but it's taking them too long. Maybe some words of encouragement and how they can get in touch with you to discuss how to maybe possibly work with you and help get their business rolling.
Yes, I would say first, to go for it. Whatever it is that you desire it because you deserve it. We could get into a whole nother conversation about how we make decisions based on how we think about ourselves, whether or not we're worthy of certain things in our lives. But I wholeheartedly believe that Black women in particular have the power to change the world. And we do that first within our homes and then in the marketplace. So if you have an inkling that entrepreneurship is for you, but you want to do it right, you want to do it so that you're serving others, but that you are served in the process of serving others, then, connect with someone who can help you build that solid foundation for your business, a business that will grow, and a business that you will love as it's growing, that it doesn't become this kind of monstrous thing that you no longer enjoy. Obviously, I'm available to help with that, but if it's not me, it should be someone.
Right.
We can shortcut our journey by getting help and asking for help and not trying to piece the puzzle pieces together on our own, or trying to, get the kind of Google free opt-in and Google searching our way to success, right?
Wow. Yep.
So that would be one of the main things I would say. But that just reminding you that whoever you are, wherever you are, wherever you've come from, that you were born to have an impact in this world. Some of us will have grandiose impact. Others will, we will touch a person a day or a person here or there, but that impact is no less important than the person who is impacting the world. So just live out what you were called to do and be in this world. And if you want to connect with me to help you on that journey, you can do so on Facebook and Instagram at Coach Sharita or at SharitaWeatherspoon.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Love that. All right. Well, Nita, I'm going to put you on the spot here. And I want you to speak specifically to um, families, not just women, but families, because men are involved as well, who may their dream was to have a child of their own, um, but for whatever reason they aren't able to successfully do that. And speak to them about the power and the impact they can have through possibly fostering or adopting children. And then let them know how they can contact you as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, because I did want to expound upon that. You know, alone in just the state of Massachusetts, there are over 5,000 children in DCF care.
Wow.
5,000. And it's difficult placing children. There are so many children who need loving homes. In the state of Massachusetts on May 1st, Jordan's Furniture is going to host an adoption where you can come meet children and connect to for just to connect, to build relationships
Right.
on fostering and adopting children. It's really, it's not hard, everyone. It really is not. When you meet a child that becomes a part of your life, that tugs on your heart, the door is open. You can love that child, and it doesn't have to come from your womb. I've adopted 2 children, about to adopt a third. She will be here. She's 15 years old. I love children. I love the value that they add to my life, and I want to be a value in their life. I want them to feel comfortable, to know that they are home, to feel safe, and to know that they don't have anything to worry about. You feel free to contact me. I would love to walk you through the process of becoming a foster parent. You can become a foster parent on the track to adopt. You can become a foster parent to be a guardian. You can also become a foster parent if you have a child within your family that needs to be placed, and that's called a kinship parent. So there are different forms of foster parenting, and they can lead to adoption. And it's very, very, very rewarding. My email is inspire by Juanita. That's INSPIREBYJUANITA @gmail.com. My website is also inspiredbyjuanita.org. And you can feel, I will get right in touch with you. Also, I have a new business number, and that number is 1-310-800 7443. Again, that is 310-800-7443. And I would be more than happy to assist you with any questions that you may have in regard to fostering. And I have been labeled the Parent Mastermind by Marquessa Petway. She said, you are an amazing parent and you will do very well. The thing that I've avoided, because I always provide resources for parents, I believe in being a support system, and I want them to have a safe place so that they can find resources, so that they can vent and know that they don't have anything to worry about, and that they can keep their sanity with me. So I will be more than happy to be there for you in any way, shape, or form, and as regards to parenting. So thank you, Ryan, for this opportunity and for putting me on the spot.
Well, thank you for all you do, and definitely appreciate you and wish you all the best, and keep inspiring others. All right, so let's go to Ms. Toussaint. All right, let's. I want to leave you the last word with our authors. How can we go and make the rest of this year monumental? And then let us know how they can contact you.
Sure. Our lives begin to change the moment we decide to take a step in the direction of the future we want for ourselves. Leadership requires action.
Yes.
Choosing not to act still has consequences. So make a decision today whether or not you want to grow and move further, pursue your passion, and act. Get some accountability, put a communication system in place, and tailor your journey as you learn about yourself. Evaluate, evaluate, evaluate. Leadership takes time, it takes work, it takes action. And the action you need to take, whether or not you decide to work with me or not, is to one, follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Think Monumental. If you do decide that your journey is worth it and our personalities will be a good fit, my email is solutions@thinkmonumental.com. I'm sorry, solutions@monumentalbusiness.com. And that's a sign from the heavens. I've been thinking about changing it, but it hasn't been changed yet.
We want the good one.
Solutions@monumentalbusiness.com.
There you go.
I'm sorry?
So we want the good email address.
Yes, solutions@monumentalbusiness.com. And my website again, monumentalbusiness.com. But I believe that you are inclined to evaluate the moments in your life that made you who you are so that you can be a better person. So take some time and sit with yourself, be honest with yourself, be honest with the people that want to help you, and maximize your moments. Thank you, Ryan and doctors, for your time.
Thank you all so much. You've heard from Dr. Sharita Weatherspoon, Juanita H. Grant, Monique Toussaint, and so that was it. Those were our final authors. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and purchase your copy of the book. If you've purchased your copy of the book, and after today, you should probably want to purchase 4 or 5 more copies. Send them out to everybody in your circle, because if you're going to start making it matter, you want your friends to start making it matter as well. So go ahead and tell them about it. Buy them a copy of the book, whatever it may be. Again, I am Ryan C. Greene. I'm going to come right back, because what we're going to do now, we're going to go and get all the things together for our giveaways. We're going to come back. We're going to play one more song from Salim and the Music Lovers. And after that, I'm going to come back. We're going to do our raffle, and we're going to close it out. So I want to thank you 3 ladies. I want to thank all the authors who joined us tonight, from everyone who's been here, all the authors who participated in the book, who couldn't be part of the live. We thank you all as well. Make sure that you go and get the copy of the book. One thing we didn't even talk about is that this book is, once you get through the book, there's also an online course. So that's, we just totally forgot that all night long. We have an online course, so that once you read the chapters, each author has even taught an online course, a master class on their subject matter that will help you also take the learning even further. So you can go and get the master class. When you buy the book, you'll see an opportunity to enroll in the master class as well. Make sure you do that. Go ahead and then get rolling, so that the second half of your life is going to be much better than the first. You can start to make it matter. So I thank you all again. I'm Ryan C. Greene. In case I didn't already say it, you can follow me at Raji Speaks on every social media. It's all the same. Follow me there. And I look forward to working with you and talking to you as well. So we're going to go to another song by Celine. I'll come back by myself to go ahead and finish out the raffles, and we'll close it out after that. So thank you. Be right back after this.
They keep asking me why I'm mad. I'm angry at a system labels black boys soldiers and white boys victims. White girls are wholesome and black girls are vixens. So when the trigger's pulled, the skin color is the condition that defines if it's a killing. Cause it ain't really murder when melanin's involved. You're not considered a person. Black kids rehearsing how to be emasculated. Stopped by cops in front of a liquor store in a vacant row home. Staring down through cracked glass from windows at little girls with bullet wounds playing their Nintendo handheld console. I can't hold a hand and console a little boy who'll be killed like a man. Or that's what the stats say. Uncomfortable undebatable facts that black lives only matter when we're playing halfback. Black lives matter when our culture is co-opted. Black lives matter when campuses make a profit. We're all entertainers who are conveniently black when it comes to a dance or the hairstyle, but when it's time to advance something beyond a bank account, they remain silent because that ain't what they thinking about. Black kids driving like confetti, it's a celebration. They used to lynch us, but now they kill with legislation. Do I want to live in this imperfect union where we collect highlights of police shootings? It's documented evidence, even worth pursuing. Is justice a novelty or is it worth the movement? I speak to you through music, expressing this impotent rage, anger, feeling like this confrontation's imminent. Sickened by the national critique, they oversimplify. Black frames littering the streets are always vilified. Crucify the victim, it's the symptom of a racist system. Went from chattel slavery to capitalism. Severe rights murdered, no Miranda given. George Zimmerman consulted after his visit, so least took statements from the citizen who took the life of arrogance apparent. He's a different type of human. No illusions where the line is drawn when you're a black girl standing in front of your name flaunt. We're all at black pearls. Our children lose their innocence within the birth canal. We're born without the privilege of presumed innocence. We live in a united nation state with sublimated hate keeps us divided. This country tested syphilis on its black citizens, and still the same country that blacks are living in. Black cats scribbling I can't breathe on posters, marching to MLK, singing how I got over. Now we got soldiers playing war games in residential communities where the lead from a school pencil is less common than a lead from a smooth pistol brandished by civil service or likely to kill you. White kids ride as youthful exuberance. Black kids ride as the thugs who are doing it. Black kids ride when an unarmed teen is shot. White campuses ride cause the team missed the shot. I'm talking about conditioning and how blacks are made to feel guilty for the lynching when the animals who perpetrated all of these atrocities remain to blame as benchmarks of civilized society. See, and I can't breathe. 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 Salim and the music lovers. Thank you.
Well. What a night we had. What a celebration. Was that great or what? I am again Ryan C. Greene. Man, what a night. If you enjoyed it, just go ahead and, clap in the comments one more time. Tell us what your favorite moment of the evening was, whatever it is. I want to thank you all who've been here on Facebook, being here on YouTube. I know both of them were trying to shut us down, trying to not let us be great, but we persevered. And one of the best parts is that we're going to run this all week long. So we're celebrating all week. So if you missed any portion of it, the replay will be back up tomorrow. It'll be available for you to check it all out. You can still go back and watch the lives once it's done and see what part you missed and see if the part is in there or not. But we're going to run this back. So, this has been such an exciting project. When we started this thing back in October, November, I knew I had a vision for what I wanted to do, but if you had told me it was going to be this awesome to work with this group of people, I would have probably thought you were crazy. But I couldn't have asked for a better bunch of authors and professionals. So I'm excited about working with them. I'm excited about what this project is about to do. We've been promoting this thing for 6 weeks now, and we are here tomorrow. Tuesday, April 13th is the actual go live day where the book will be available everywhere. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all those bookstores, all those websites, Target, everywhere. It'll be available tomorrow, but you have one more opportunity tonight to go ahead and, I mean, you can still do it after tonight, but this is your last opportunity to only get it at themakeitmatterproject.com. So if you haven't already gotten a copy of the book, go ahead and do that. Please support this project by buying it from themakeitmatterproject.com. All right, let me give out a few thank yous, and then we're going to get what you're really here for. Is that little spinny thing right? Let me see. Let me put it right. Oh, there we go. That little spinny thing right there. You all want to see who won the raffles, right? So we've got all the names from, let me just double. No, I can't do that. We got all the names from people who've been commenting and sharing stuff out. Hopefully you stuck around to the end, or at least you watched the replay and found out if you want or not. But let me just start by, first of all, thanking the authors who were in the book who couldn't be a part of our live presentation. Dr. Katrina Ferguson, Maddie Deed, and Suzanne Peters. They also were authors in our book. We couldn't get them on the event, but we definitely want to thank you for them. Special shout out to two editors that we have for the book. We had Reverend Stephanie Jenkins and Monet Moore. I want a special shout out to both of them for editing the book. We also had some awesome contributors to the project who didn't write chapters for the book, but they contributed to our online course, to our podcast, and really just lent their expertise to the project. Dr. Cheryl Wood, Dr. Sean Woodley. We had Minister Tiffany Bethea. We had Chico Conway, Kareem Cook, Matthew Seahorn. So I want to thank all of them as well. Special thanks to Salim and the Music Lovers. I mean, was that great? Was their songs great? If you want to hear more of them, you can go and look them up on Spotify. Their albums are there. You can go and really find out more about them and get some of that grown folk hip hop in you. Last but not least, I want to thank you. Well, it's not last, but I want to thank my wife Tanika, my children Jordan and Jaden, for everything that they've always done and all the support they've always given. And last but not least, I want to thank the reader. I want to thank you. If you've already gotten the book and read it, I want to thank you for that. If you're ordering the book, I want to thank you for that. If you just tuned in and really didn't know what you were tuning in for, but someone just told you, hey, come check this out, I want to thank you for that. All right, so appreciate you all being here. One thing we want you to do is tomorrow, for those who already have the book, ordering the book, learn something about the book from tonight. We need you to start flooding Amazon on our launch date with reviews. Please start putting reviews on Amazon. You can go, the book is already live, but you can't review it until it actually releases tomorrow. Start putting reviews on there for us. We know reviews sell books. So please start putting your positive reviews on Amazon for us as well to help us out that way. All right, let's get to it. We're going to give 3 drawings tonight. 3 drawings. Let me shuffle the names. All right. This first drawing is going to be for a free book. All right. Your first drawing is going to be for a free paperback copy of the Make It Matter Project. So let's see who the winner is. The winner of the free paperback copy book is Clarissa Newell. All right. Congratulations, Clarissa. Let me write this down. Clarissa, you just won a free copy of the paperback book. All right, I'm just writing it down because I don't know if this site saves it or not. So let me make sure I have it. All right. Congratulations on that. All right, this next drawing, how many of you watched me wear this t-shirt all night and was like, oh, that's a nice t-shirt. I want to Make It Matter t-shirt. Well, here is your opportunity to win yourself a Make It Matter t-shirt, because the next name in this raffle, and remember, these entries were those who commented in either of the chats, so Facebook or YouTube, and because we want to reward you just for showing up and participating, because that's what matters. Showing up, participating, sharing, that's what draws traffic. That's what draws all the good stuff that people need to go viral online and help us really grow. So we thank you for that. So let's go hit the button again and see. There we go. Who is going to win a Make It Matter t-shirt? Listen, these are available online for purchase at themakeitmatterproject.com/gear. I think it is gear, but no one has any yet. All right, so whoever wins this can be one of the first people to get one. Let's see. The winner is, it was close, but it is Natasha Mason Walker. Natasha Mason Walker, you just won a t-shirt. So I need you to reach out to me so I can know where to send your t-shirt. You too, Clarissa, I need you to reach out to me so I know where to send the book. Reach out to me, Natasha, so we can get the size and get the t-shirt sent out to you. You all can just send me an email at ryan@ryancgreene.com. ryan@ryancgreene.com. It's Greene with the E. Our last giveaway today, I don't have it here, but our last giveaway is going to be a Make It Matter hoodie. All right, the Make It Matter hoodie, man. I've got this hoodie and I tried it on. It is the most comfortable hoodie I've ever had. Honestly, it just really is. So it's an all black hoodie. It looks like the t-shirt, but it's got the what do they call it? Eco-friendly material. I don't know what they make it out of. Great hoodie. We're going to give that away right now. Let's not going to delay any longer. Let's just go ahead and spin this. Who's going to win this hoodie? The winner is Jeanette S. Jeanette S. You won the hoodie. Now, you definitely have to contact me because I just copied the names from what was showing up on YouTube. So, Jeanette S., you won the hoodie. You make sure that you contact me, Ryan@ryancgreene.com, so I can find out who your whole name first and foremost, and get your hoodie order sent out for you as well. So listen, that is it, folks. This project has been a labor of love. It's all about helping you create a life of unforgettable impact and abundant fulfillment. Finding someplace in your life that you can start to build on and work on today. All right, so we encourage you, please just go ahead and get a copy of the book. Tell people about it. Tell them buy copies of the book. Tell your boss they can come bring us out there. We can come and speak, do some workshops, whatever it is. All right. And just help us to grow this project, but also just make sure that you take advantage of the project and you're doing the things as well, so that you can really start to live a better life that that you deserve to have. Okay, so we want to make sure that you are doing those things that really make your life impactful and fulfilled in living in. So listen. Thank you for rocking us with us for almost 3 hours tonight. Thank you for pressing through. I want to thank every single author for being a part of this project. I look forward to working with you all again sometime in the future. Look forward to providing great content with Greenhouse Media as well. I'm Ryan C. Greene. Thank you. Good night.